Today we're into Timeless to teach some arena zoomers about Chrome Mox. And also, maybe a little bit about Blood Moon. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. And this week, we are heading to Timeless to teach some arena zoomers about Chrome Mox and also a little bit of Blood Moon. We are playing some Timeless Mono Red Prison. So let's talk about the deck, what it's trying to do, jump into some games, and teach some arena zoomers some lessons. So the reason we're playing this deck is Chrome Mox, new to Magic Arena, and Chrome Mox is an incredibly broken card. It's banned in Modern because it's just one of the best fast mana pieces printed in the modern era of Magic. So your mana artifact, when it enters, you can exile a non-artifact non-land card from your hand, and then it taps to make a mana of whatever color the thing you exiled with it is. So what are we doing with Chrome Mox? And the answer, of course, is we're trying to use it to play Chalice of the Void on turn 1 or Blood Moon on turn 2. Some of the best prison pieces in the history of Magic. So of course, if we have Chrome Mox in our opening hand, we make our land drop, we Chrome Mox, exile something. Now we have 2 mana on turn 1, we play Chalice of the Void on turn 1, lock 1-drops out of the game forever. And because our deck is built around Chalice of the Void, it doesn't really hurt us at all. In some decks, Chalice of the Void kind of beats on its own. Speaking of cards that beat decks on its own, we also have Blood Moon, which I guess technically if we have 2 Chrome Moxes, we could play on turn 1, more likely on turn 2. Blood Moon just turns all on basics into mountains. And again, some decks just straight up lose to a Blood Moon. If you play a Blood Moon on turn 2, some decks just scoop it up on the spot. Other decks, it's not as good. But still, it is an incredibly powerful card in the right matchup. So that is goal number 1 of the deck. Use Chrome Mox to play these cards super fast. We also have Strike It Rich. It's kind of a backup. It's way worse than Chrome Mox, but for 1 mana it makes a treasure. So if we're trying to like turn 2 Blood Moon, we can turn 1 land, Strike It Rich, make the treasure, turn 2 land, play the Blood Moon, and be able to start locking our opponent out of the game. Then we have some additional 3-drops that we can play, maybe on turn 2 with Chrome Mox, and also just generate card advantage. Fable the Mirror Breaker digs through our deck, makes a Goblin. Seasoned Pyromancer filters through our deck, makes some tokens. The One Ring, just kind of busted, draws all the cards. Then we have maybe the most unique part of the deck, which is our mana base is all MDFCs. So when you think about Chrome Mox to make mana needs you to exile a card from your hand that's not an artifact or a land. MDFCs essentially let you cheat on Chrome Mox's requirement because they're lands that you can pitch to Chrome Mox. So since we're playing an all MDFC mana base, we're pretty much guaranteed to always have something that we don't mind pitching to Chrome Mox. So Spikefield Hazard, Valakut Awakening, Shatter Skull Smashing, Sundering Eruption, Pinnacle Monk. On rare occasions we cast these cards, especially like the removal or maybe Valakut Awakening to dig through our deck, but really they're lands in our deck that we can exile to Chrome Mox. However, they also open up the finisher for our deck, which is Goblin Charbelcher. So one of the challenges of Mono Red Prison, and I have played a lot of Mono Red Prison, it's one of my all-time favorite decks, but one of the challenges, let's say you drop a Blood Moon on turn 2, you still gotta kill your opponent. Most decks, if you drop a turn 2 Blood Moon, sooner or later, they will draw out of that. They'll hit their basic lands and assemble some sort of a game plan. So the pressure is still on you even after you play the lock piece to get your opponent dead. So as I was building this deck, I was like, all right, we're gonna play these MDFCs to support our Chrome Mox. How are we gonna win the game? And then I realized we're kind of perfectly set up for the Belcher kill because we're already not playing any real lads. So essentially we can Chrome Mox or we have Iron Crag Feet to make even more mana to turbo out a Belcher. Belcher just dome me up for like 40, whatever number of cards happen to be in our deck, thanks to our all MDFC mana base. So it didn't set up really to build a Belcher deck. It just happened that Belcher is like the perfect finisher for the deck. Otherwise, we got Bone Crusher, Giant Abrade, Furious Removal in our sideboard, Defense Grid in Abrade to help protect our combo. Defense Grid just slows down counter spells. Abrade, one of the things that can shut down a Belcher kill is a Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle, kind of a popular sideboard card. So it's creature removal that can also blow up an artifact. Unholy Anger of the Gods for creature decks. Roiling Vortex, specifically for show and tell matchups. Disruptor Flute, our version of Pithing Needle, and then Unlicensed Serfs for graveyard decks. And that is Mono Red Prison for Timeless. And that's the deck that we're going to use to teach some arena zoomers about Chrome Mox and Blood Moon. So thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the gameplay, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats, tokens, and more over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Against odds time. This week, we are heading to Timeless to teach some arena zoomers about Chrome Mox and Blood Moons. And, yes, we would like to play first. And, oh wow, oh wait. Is this turn 1 Blood Moon? This is turn 1 Blood Moon, okay. The dream is being lived. We're even on the play. I mean, this is turn 1 Blood Moon with Chalice backup. I guess we just have to... Hello. I don't know if we're going to be saying hello in 20 seconds, opponent. Chrome Mox, number 1. Excellent Iron Craig feet. We just got to hope it's a matchup where the Blood Moon's good. Chrome Mox, number 2. Exile Iron Craig feet. Shatter Skull smashing untapped. And Blood Moon, yeah. Well, lands, am I right? It is the perfect Blood Moon emote. It's the perfect Blood Moon emote. Opponent Mountain. No, come on now. Strike it, Rich. All right. Well, oh, there's a bobble. That's unfortunate. Oh, opponent. All right, they're a deck that can play through Blood Moon, sadly. Oh, and a Chrome Mox too. All right, well, no one's gonna have any cards in hand. Oh, it's a Breach deck. I see. This is actually kind of funny. Oh, there's the Belcher. It's actually kind of funny. We exile all Iron Craig feats, though. There could be an argument for putting it on 0. Although I feel like if we put Chalice on 1... All right, there's an Ornithopter. I feel like our opponent can't win through a Chalice on 1. Like, if they can't loop Dark Rituals or whatever. Well, let's play them out in, and I think we just play the Belcher. Normally, we want to Belcher and win in the same turn, but... I mean, our opponent's Blood Moon locked. They haven't sideboarded yet. Hopefully this just sticks. Opponent going to do a little Chalice check here. And... oh, pass. Well, we will Belcher you then. Well, that was... that was kind of easy. All right, let's just keep doing turn 1 Blood Moon things. Sweet. All right, sideboard-wise, Disruptor Flute could be worth it. So there's some sort of Breach Storm deck. The Graveyard Hate gonna be good against Breach. I don't know exactly what they're doing. It's gotta be some sort of Breach Storm deck, but maybe Disruptor Flute's not that good. It can't stop Breach. Blood Moon's probably a little sketchy actually against this. Like if our opponent's playing a bunch of treasure producers, Blood Moon's not gonna be great. They do have a lot of zeros though. We can try the Roiling Vortex. Vortex is here specifically to fight against Show and Tell, but I guess it might be good enough. Yeah, maybe we got on all the Blood Moon, sadly. Yeah, something like that, I guess. I haven't played Timeless in a minute. I don't know what's going on this. This is the wildest. I think Timeless has got to be the wildest format in Magic. These hands are hard to evaluate because we have all of our lands are MDFCs. So it always looks like we have a 0-lander. This I kind of like. I wish we had an untapped land. But we have a Chalice. I feel like Chalice is actually the best. Where's our Trinisphere? Opponent, Ornithopter. And a little Springleaf Drummond, sure. Opponent also did some aggressive mulliganing. Well, I mean, we gotta start with the tap land. There's no way Chalice on 0 is correct, right? I guess we get down the Chrome Mox. Exile, probably the Strike at Ridge since we're gonna Chalice on 1 anyway, I think. I still think 1 is right. I don't know how they win through it with Chalice on 1. Now this is a Dark Ritual. That's a card I'm most scared of. Dark Ritual is one of the easier ways to win with Breach. Oh god. Oh no, what is happening? Dark Ritual. Last card is... Beseech the Mirror. Okay. Well, we're not dead. They haven't cast enough spells to kill us with... oh, spicy. All right, Song of Creation. I have not seen Song of Creation in a minute, so whenever they cast a spell, they draw 2 cards, and then end step, they have to discard their hand. Unlicensed Hearse. I feel like Chalice, this is going to be an interesting game. I feel like Chalice is better than Hearse here. I guess we hope they draw lands. If they draw lands, they can't trigger the song. They can't, so they can still cast, all right, there's a Chrome Mox to draw 2. They can still cast their 1. So get countered by the Chalice, but they still can cast them to draw cards with Song of Creation. So that is still a thing. I don't know how this goes. Opponent exiles to the Chrome Mox, and Silence gets countered, draws 2 cards. And opponent's gonna do some thought seizing, countered. All right, Chalice on 1 is looking good. I feel like the Chalice on 1 choice is paying off. Opponent, 2 land drops. Scalding Tard cracked. It's good, Bear. It's good. We're doing good, bud. We're doing good, I think. We got a Chalice at least. Oh, just kidding. We had a Chalice. Okay, now I'm scared. Now I'm scared. Opponent does have to discard their hand. Oh, thank you, Magic Gods. All right, so I guess we're just destined to have a Chalice on one this game. So all we really need is mana, and we can win with this Belcher. Opponent, nothing this turn, just a land. Well, let's play this Valakut Awakening. I think we just Fable of the Mana Breaker. With the Chalice out, I'm not super scared of their graveyard. Like, I don't think they can breach win through the Chalice. Mishra, man, Chalice on 0 would have actually done some work too. Mishra's Bobble, and a land, and a land. Okay, well, opponent's kind of fizzling. Opponent, gonna crack the Bobble. Song of Creation. Another Belcher. Well, let's discard a Belcher, and I think we actually discard the Hearse now. I don't think we need it. Well, One Ring's not the worst. Kind of wanted to land. Because after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we hit a land and then a land next turn, we could actually just get the Belcher win. Well, get down the One Ring, opponent gonna crack the fetch. It's kind of funny, I didn't set out to be a Belcher deck. I set out to be a mono red prison deck, and then I wanted all the MDFCs because they're really good with Chrome Mox because they're lands you can pitch. And then once I started adding all the MDFCs, well, there's the land. Once I started adding all the MDFCs, I was like, well, we might as well win with Belcher, I guess. Opponent, I'm gonna strike it rich into the. So opponent probably has to win this turn. Like, assuming the Goblin lives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's mana number 7. That is a Belcher win. Turn 1 Blood Moon game 1 in a matchup where it's not good. Into double Chalice, looking good against this opponent. Gonna Demonic Tutor. I still don't think they can win. I don't think they can win through a Chalice on 1. Maybe they can tutor up an answer to the Chalice on 1, and then we lose. That would be a concern. They did just get the best card in their. Wow. Demonic Tutor Scoop? Well, apparently our opponent did not have an answer, and, well, sweet. Against the odds time, and I forgot to start my recording, so we have already done our mulligans. We have kept this hand. Strike it, Rich. Go. So we kept this hand because we have turn 2 Blood Moon, and I love me some turn 2 Blood Moon action. Opponent. What do we got, opponent? What do we got? And passing. Well, I mean, do we just go for it? Yeah, I mean, Shatter Skull, untapped. Blood Moon? So they can fetch to get a basic. Worst case is a Spell Pierce would be very obnoxious. But, I mean, turn 2 Blood Moon is the reason we're playing this deck. Chrome Mox makes it way easier. Opponent gets an island. Go ahead. What are you doing, opponent? Nice little mountain there. Ah, Demure. Grixis now. We turned him into a Grixis deck. Do we want to Season Pyro? We could untap land, strike it rich. Oh yeah, Blood Moon. Let's just strike it rich. Blood Moon also makes our MDFCs better because they come into play untapped. About it. Gonna seek the new. Oh, okay. So this might be show and tell. This might be show and tell. I don't know how show and tell goes, but usually when I see Seek the New Horizon, well, maybe we can just strike it rich up to this Belcher. Can we just be faster than our opponent somehow? So we can strike it rich. Ooh, careful, bub. We can strike it rich, pass the turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then strike it rich. That's 7. We got to dodge like a mana drain or something, but in theory, Phone's gonna brainstorm. In theory, we just Belcher win. The other hilarious part about this is, if our opponent just goes untap show and tell, we can put the Char Belcher into play, and we have 3 treasures to activate it. So we actually are in a weird way kind of defended. Oh, do we go for it is the question. The problem with going for it is, let's go Chalice on 2. Because this is going to shut down Mana Drain and other counter spells. And then we can go for it next turn. Assuming this is a show and tell matchup, leaving up 3 mana with the Belcher in hand is probably, because if we run out the Belcher and they counter it, then we're just dead to show and tell. If we do it this way, we still have the Belcher to put in play with show and tell, and in theory, we cut off counters to win next turn. All right, opponent did have the Mana Drain. Well, I'm glad we didn't go for it. I've never wanted my opponent to show and tell more. Come on, opponent, do it, show and tell, opponent. Mountain. And passes. Well, more strike it riches. Now I'm still not sure that we go for it. Actually, you know what? Let's Season Pyro. I mean, Pyro, pitch the Fury, pitch the Strike at Rich. Draw a couple of Blood Moons. And a Shatter Skull Smashing. Well, I think we play the Smashing. I don't think there's really going to be any targets in our opponent's deck for it. Pass the turn. Opponent, land. Well, let's get in with the Dorks. Hit ya. Down to 15. Yeah, I got the fear. I got the fear. Let's play another Blood Moon. I just feel like I'm so convinced this is show and tell, and I don't want to risk getting our Belcher countered, essentially. I feel like we're going to get to put it into play for free at some point, and then we just win. Well, hit you to 11. Let's strike it, Rich. Maybe we just win with Season Pyro beads. Definitely not on the bingo card, but it could happen. Down to 7. And, I mean, we can Fury, and we still got the mana to Belcher if it comes down to it. Yeah, let's Fury just to be a clock. Ouch. More mana drains. All right, that's fine. Although, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, can they just hardcast? If they hardcast Omniscience, our plan falls apart. Wow, opponent just... I guess this Blood Moon really got him. I guess the Blood Moon really got him. Hit you to 3, and... Do we Pyro? Yeah, I guess we just Pyro again. We get Spike Field Hazard them to 1, but that's still not lethal. Yeah, I mean, discard a couple Dorks. I mean, this is... Match 1 double Chrome Mox, not the best time for those. I mean, match 1. Wow, opponent scoops it up. Match 1, Blood Moon sucked. It didn't do anything. This match, Blood Moon, our opponent did not really cast a spell. Oh, I still think it's show and tell. So we're bringing in the Roiling Vortexes. So the Abrades in the sideboard, actually kind of important. So when I was first building this deck, I didn't have the Abrades, and Pithing Needle shuts down Belcher. So that was one of the ways we were losing our ability to finish the game. So now I tend to bring in Abrades if I'm afraid of Pithing Needle. Defense Grid seems good too. Let's try it, something like that. This hand, okay, we got the Blood Moon. Turn 2 Blood Moon. Would be nice to have double Chrome Mox and turn 1 it, but I mean, we saw last game that Blood Moon is pretty good against this deck if we can get it down early enough. What are we putting at the bottom? Maybe this, yeah, we probably don't need the Strike it Rich with the Chrome Mox. So we can like pitch one of the tap lands to the Chrome Mox, play a tap land, turn 2 untap land, Blood Moon. And then refuel with Season Pyro, get on the Chrome Mox. The bad news about this hand is we don't actually have a plan for beating Belcher, I keep saying Belcher, Show and Tell. We don't actually have a plan for beating the Show and Tell at the moment. We don't have the Belcher to beat the Show and Tell. And grabs an island. And a little brainstorming. Sure. Brainstorm with no fetch is kind of fine. Kind of a mid, there's a fetch. So kind of a mid-powered brainstorm. Oh, now I don't know if we want to go for it. Well, we can't play Blood Moon Afraid, so if you got it, you got it. I mean, this is one of those decks where you don't warp your entire deck to try to play turn 2 Blood Moon, and then wimp out. Wow, they don't have it. Okay, Seek New Knowledge. Not a counter spell. And then you can't just like wimp out when it's time to play. You gotta make them have it. You gotta make them have it. Within reason. There are times when it's just foolish to cast it, but part of the reason I think it's right to do now is we can, but more importantly, we have a Season Pyro, so we're kind of incentivized to get out of cards, so then we can refuel with the Season Pyro. So we play Season Pyro, discard Fury, and land. I guess all of our lands come into play on tap now, so I mean, we're definitely gonna discard Fury, and then I guess just Shatter Skull. We might Valakut Awakening someday, or we might just play it as a land. Another Season Pyro. All right, play it as a land. Well, it worked last time. Play the Blood Moon, attack him with the Pyros. It did work last time. Not sure it's likely to work again, but you never know. Oh, all right. Well, odds of death increasing. Opponent, Force of Vigor, gets the Mox. Also gets the Blood Moon. Seek New Knowledge. Yeah, I mean, if they have the Show and Tell here with the Omniscience, then GG's. Opponent. Also gonna Brainstorm. They're seeing a lot of cards. That makes me think they're probably gonna find it. This is one of the wildest. Timeless is such a wild format. It's fun, but my goodness. It's bracket 4. It's definitely bracket 4. About it. Lay it in. We can put the Pyro into play. We will make them show, they only have 2 cards in hand, so we will make them show 1 additional piece. But once they have some sort of tutor or something, like the way their deck is built, if you do this, you win. Yeah, all right, there's the Demonic Tutor, and on to game number 3. Well, we are on the play for game number 3, which is good news. We also know definitively that we are playing against Show and Tell. Didn't say Belcher this time. Learning. I like the Roiling Vortex. Roiling Vortex is our hate card for this matchup. And do a little Strike at Riching. Maybe ramp into the One Ring to draw some cards. All right, opponents. About it. I'm going to start with the tap land. Ooh, there's a Belcher. Well, that could be handy eventually. I think we do spend a lot of life to our mana base. I think we just bold ourselves. Get down the Roiling Vortex. So the key text at Roiling Vortex, when you cast a spell without paying any mana for it, you gotta take 5. So in theory, our opponent can't just cast a bunch of free spells with the Omniscience if they do Show and Tell it. Having the Belcher in hand is nice. That sets up potentially what we were talking about in game 1, the possibility of putting it into play off the Show and Tell, which actually is probably going to have a big impact on how we play this turn. Now we might be in the leave up mana in case they have Show and Tell mode. Well, down to 14. Yeah, let's just tap lane go. Defense grid would be nice to fight through counters, but even with the Roiling Vortex is beatable. It is a very good hate card, but they can just kill it and then combo off. So leaving up a backup plan and putting the Belcher into play seems good. Opponent land. I feel like Assemble the Team is one of the least offensive of the Alchemy cards to me. Or one of the most traditional, paper-friendly of the card. Like, you could print that card in paper, right? Like, searching the top third of your deck would be kind of annoying because you have to counter whatever, but it would function in paper. Well, Roiling Vortex. Down to 12. Shatter Skull smashing. So we could play untapped in defense grid. The other thing is we do take 1 off this Vortex every turn. I think we just play it tapped. Like, right now, we're losing the Vortex race. Our opponent could just be like, maybe I don't even try to combo and just hope the clock runs out on you. I mean, it's still many turns away, so unlikely, but possible. And there's an island. Opponent. Passing. Down to 16. So right now they can cast, what, 3 spells through the Vortex before they die? Are we doing things? All right, well, opponent has cast 2 tutors. It is very likely that they are going to have what they want next turn. They do need to deal with the Vortex at some point. Also taking 1 more damage just put them to 15. So then they're in 2 spell mode. I think we just gotta pass. We could, I guess, strike it rich and then sack the treasures. Yeah, I think we just pass. Well, Roiling Vortex paying you down to 15. Is this the turn where it all happens? Well, next turn. I mean, 2 Assemble the Teams and a Demonic Tutor. There's no way they don't have it for next turn, right? They're discarding the hand size. They've tutored so much. Well, Vortex down to 10. Another Belcher. I hope this plan works. Yeah, it looks so bad because we could be doing things, but I really think we have to leave up the Belcher. I think that's our game plan. Oh, it'd be so cool if it worked. Pass the turn. Can we get the reverse Arena off the Show and Tell? Hit ya, down to 14. Normally, if you play Show and Tell, you know you're going to win if you do it. In this case, it could backfire. All right, there it is, Show and Tell. Well, I know what I'm putting into play. So I imagine our opponent has Omniscience. We'll put a Belcher into play. So the only thing is, they do have that Born on Winds that can let you cast everything with Flash. So I think we have to wait until they cast at least 1 spell before we activate it. Because if they could cast that in response, all right, opponent casts a Dig Through Time. Are they casting in response Abrupt Decay for free? Okay, well, the time has come. Belcher, did we get them with their own Show and Tell? Yes, it worked. Well, take that, Arena Zoomer. Take that. We can strike it rich. Maybe into a turn 2 Blood Moon. We do need an untapped land if we're going to do that. But strike it rich. Yeah, because their only other land, Spike Field Hazard. Technically not a Blood Moon. We could Chalice. Opponent grabs a Schwamp. Dark Ritual. Okay. Yeah, good, clean, fair magic. Sorin. Well, maybe our turn 2 Blood Moon isn't going to matter. About it. Taking down the Sorin. And all right. Well, turn 1 Vein Ripper might be turn 1 Blood Moon. Or definitely turn 2 Blood Moon. Well, we could have turned 2 the Blood Moon, although... Okay, how can we realistically win? I think okay, here's our realistic pathway to victory, and it's not very realistic. But, so we get hit for 8. So we need to go Iron Crake Feet Belcher, basically, on our next 2 draw steps. We can't kill the Vein Ripper. All right, that doesn't really matter at this point. That's one way we could potentially win, is just tanking him out. And Bone Crusher. All right, well, now I think it's just over, right? Because we can't draw 2 cards in 1 draw step. Yeah. The bad news is we really don't have a ton for this matchup. Disruptor Flute's good because it can shut down Sorin. All this is assuming it's fast enough. Blood Moon seems like it does nothing, sadly. That is the curse of Blood Moon. Some matchups, it's a free win. Some matchups, it doesn't do much. Yeah. Let's try it like that. I mean, we're on the play, which is good, although if our opponent just goes turn 1 Vein Ripper, I'm not sure how we realistically beat that. Well, we will play first. All right. I mean, yeah, I guess 2 untap lands, a Strike at Ridge. We got the 1 ring, some Chalices. Would have been nice to have a Chrome Mox. I feel like turn 1 Chalice would actually be nice, because then it shuts down the Dark Ritual at least. If they have to put it in on turn 3, I think we can beat a turn 3 Vein. Oh my god, not again. Dark Rit. No. Sorin. No, you really have the whole thing again? Come on now. Come on now. No. Takes down. Vein. Okay. Well, turn 1 Vein Ripper. Again. Well, let's play this Pinnacle Monk. Untapped. Or tapped, rather. So how can we do this? We have the Iron Crake Feet. So there is a world where what we were talking about in game 1 actually happens this game. Like, if we can draw Iron Crake Feet or a Belcher to go with the Iron Crake Feet, we could actually potentially steal this. Plus, if we get an untap land, we can play the 1 ring to fog for a turn. Gonna get in for 7. Down to 10. And plays the land and passes. Well, untap land is nice. This does mean we literally have to win the game next turn. Well, play the 1 ring, so we're not dying this turn. So here's the world. Here's the world we live in. We get 4 draws, right? 3 with the 1 ring, 1 with our draw step. We need to hit Belcher and an untap land. If we do, another 1 ring is actually not the worst. That means if we draw an untap land, we can fog for another turn. We'd still rather just go Belcher land and win the game. And then we could say we beat a turn 1 Vein Ripper, which... I didn't know that was actually possible for this deck. I mean, you could beat it with an Edict or something, right? We just don't have, we're a mono red deck. It's not like we have an Edict. Found it. Taking up on the Vein Ripper. 1 ring. Another Iron Crake Feet. Well, big draws. Wow. Belcher, untap land off the top, and we're doing it. That's how you beat a turn 1 Vein Ripper. That is how you beat a turn 1 Vein Ripper. Iron Crake Belcher, and death. Wouldn't want to have to do that again, but we'll take it. Jeez. Just one time, just have a fair draw opponent. What are the odds of having that twice in a row? It can't be very high. You need 3 specific cards, right? Because you need the Dark Ritual too. Got the Belcher, I guess. Fury's not doing a ton. Yeah, let's try it. Sand's definitely very medium. Well, at least we're not turn 1 dead. All right, Centering Eruption. Untap. Strike at Ridge, actually not the worst draw. Let's just do something on turn 1. And I mean, we do have this Belcher in hand, so we do have a way to win, should we get there. Channel Land. And I'm imagining they take the Belcher, because they saw what happened last time. We draw Shatter Skull Smashing. Well, Valgate Awakening. Opponent. Well, there's a Dark Rit. And the 1 ring. Oh, okay. Not great to be the one on this side of the 1 ring. The 1 format, where the 1 ring, still doing its thing. I guess it's still in Legacy. Opponent, what do you take here? Valakut away? It takes a Fury. We draw even more Furies. Well, let's play Shatter Skull Smashing. I think we just pass. Like, we're going to bold ourselves because we want a Valakut Awakening. We need to hit, I don't even know. A One Ring would be helpful. Obviously, some sort of Belcher kill would be nice. With our opponent drawing this many cards, they are going to find it eventually. Like, there is no doubt that sooner or later, they are going to find what they're looking for. All right, reanimates the Fury. Well, I guess it's good that we have another Fury then. At least we can kill that. So, 3/3 double striker. Opponent is down to 10 and a blood. What is this deck? Bloodghast. I guess that's good with Sorin. I guess you can keep sacking it to Sorin. Oh, now our Valakut Awakening plan looks a little worse. Do we just cycle it? Do we wait? We can't get rid of the Fury now because we need it. Yeah, let's just cycle, I guess. We need the untap land, Chalice, and a Pinnacle Monk. I mean, I think the only realistic plan is do a little smashing and hardcast a Fury. Fury to kill the Fury and also get rid of the Bloodghast. I mean, in theory, this Fury is a kind of fast clock. Opponent's at 8 and they have a One Ring. In theory, it just wins the game next turn. In practice, our opponent's gonna have a handful of cards. So I don't know if in practice it's gonna work. Found it. The One Ring's so busted. Up to 7. You can see the difference between one person having a ring and the other one not having a ring. Opponent has all the cards. We got not much. We got a Chalice, I guess, that isn't doing anything. I think Chalice is good in this matchup just to shut down the Dark Rituals. It just slows the deck down, but we got to have it like on turn 1 for it to really be good. All right, opponent. Speaking of the Dark Ritual, what are we just going to hardcast a Vein Ripper? Oh, they're going to Ritual out of Sorin. Is going to put a Vampire into play, which is... Oh, okay. Little alchemy action here. Saint Alenda, which, I don't know, does things. It conjures stuff for spellbook drafts or something. TLDR shuts down our Fury, and our opponent also has another One Ring, and this big life linker, and they're up to 11, and... well, we'll always have game 2. We'll always have game 2 where we beat a turn 1 Vein Ripper. This is a not very explosive hand. Okay, this is sketchier, but Celeste hand only has 1 land. But we do have a Strike It Rich, so they can get a Chalice down on turn 2. And we could draw lands, it's possible. Ooh, or we could draw Chrome Mox, okay. Well, let's see how good turn run Chrome Mox is against this Chingatha deck. It might be Energy. And I feel like Chalice on 1 is probably really good against Energy. Let's get rid of Iron Crag Feet. Oh, actually, I'm kind of an idiot. Probably should have got the Strike It Rich, which is going to get countered by Chalice, but we're going to discard to the Fable anyway. All right, we just need to draw lands, basically. Opponent, untap land. And a Johnny. Okay, so shutting down 1-drop should hit a big portion. Ooh. Should hit a big chunk of our opponent's deck. No Guide of Souls, no Prides, no Galvanic Blast, no... I don't know. Ooh, all right, well, all part of the plan. We get to exile this Strike It Rich anyway. And now, we will Fable the Mirror Breaker. And pass turn. There is a Flage, so it's going to be a thing eventually. Opponent, untap land, and Flages. Alright, Goblin down. We kind of wanted that mana. We can probably discard the Chalice. We drop to 11. Another Iron Crag Feet. Well, discard the Chalice. I think we hold on to the Feet now just because now we're drawing live to a Belcher to just end this. Well, Fable number 2. Play the tap land. Up to 4 mana with just 2 lands thanks to the power. Chrome Mox is so good. I don't think they can ever unban Chrome Mox in Modern. I feel like Chrome Mox would have way more of an impact than Mox Opal. And Mox Opal's still very, very good getting in. We can't really block because then they flip the Ajani. Well, how about a Belcher? Blood Moon. Not the best time for a Blood Moon. Flip the Fable. Sorry, Blood Moon. I love ya, but actually, could it be? It shuts down the Flage. Oh, man. It actually would be worth playing here, but I feel like we need to spin for a Belcher because they're going to flip this Ajani and we're just going to die to the board. Pinnacle Monk. Well, I mean, I guess we play it tapped. Pass. I would have rather have the Blood Moon. Given the choice, I'd rather have the Blood Moon than the Pinnacle Monk. It's still fine. It's still fine. But... ooh, that's not good for us. A Johnny number 2. Opponents functioning relatively well, considering that the Chalice, I think, is good against him. Well, there's the Johnny, and now we're maybe in trouble. We're running out. We need the Chalice, like, this turn, probably. I'm glad they didn't go face there. Opponent kills the Fable. Goes attacking. Well, let's trade. How about a Belcher? How about a Belcher off the top? Oh, man, are we going to turn one Chalice and lose? That's sad. So many Fables. Can we live another turn? Maybe. Well, play the Fable. Pass the turn. We'll see what they do. Last time they went face with a Johnny. They can't flage yet. So if they go face, block. Opponent, a Johnny. All right, gonna kill the Fable. So I think we live one more turn, which means we need to top deck Belcher for right now. Right now. Down to 3. Opponent. Gonna grab the Jagatha. Blood Moon. That's not it. Oh, man, we gotta discard another one. Belcher? One time? Does that change things? I mean, wait. How many cards in the graveyard? 1, 2, 3. So we kill that. 4, 5. I mean, in theory, this buys us a turn. So I think what we do is we Fury. We have to kill a Johnny and then kill the Amped Raptor. We could kill a token to keep one less card in the graveyard, but they don't have enough anyway. Yeah, I think we just go Amped Raptor or Johnny. Kill them both. And now if they don't have anything, technically, we get one more look at it. I mean, there's no way we're going to win this game fairly at this point, I don't think. Although maybe, like... wait, Ragavan gets counter. Okay, Chalice. Huh, saving the day. Little Chalice check there. Thank you, Arena, for remembering. And Guide of Souls. All right, so I think our opponent's just filling the graveyard for a Flage next turn. Ocelot Pride. All right, one more draw. One more draw to seal this win. Come on, Magic Gods. Opponent gets in, hits us to 1. Belcher off the top. Belcher off the top. Belcher off the Pinnacle Monk. Yep, and now they just get back the Flage and we die. Oh, the Chalice was locking them down, but it wasn't enough. Well, we can bring in some removal. I thought that Chalice was going to carry, and it almost did. So a little bit more removal. The Blood Moons, shutting down Flage is nice, but I don't think that's enough. We need more high-impact cards in this matchup. Well, okay. I mean, turn 1 Chalice, take 2. It's got to work this time, right? This time we actually have the Belcher in hand, too, which is good news for the long run. I'll play the Chrome Mox, exile the Spike Field Hazard, and do a little Centering Eruption land style, and Chalice of the Void on 1. All right, Energy Zoomer. Can you beat a Chalice on 1 again? About it. Cracks the Flooded Strand. If we can get a Chalice on 1 and a Chalice on 2, then I imagine our opponent's not going to play much Magic. Ooh, the One Ring. Okay, also getting down the One Ring would be fine. Well, pass the turn. Opponent. Do we have the Johnny? Perhaps. Cracks the fetch. Grabs 8 planes and a Johnny Nakano Pariah. Well, would have rather run a land, but Fable is at least something. This is actually looking eerily familiar to last game, which scares me because we didn't win last game. Found I'm gonna crack there at Mesa. Grabs a mountain, and there's the Flage up, also similar to last game. This is really very much instant replay so far. Opponent gets in, hits us down to 14. Ooh, okay. Well, now we could just win. We're going to even discard the ring here, because if we hit a land that's untapped, okay, we did not. We had a land that's tapped, but that's fine. I mean, I think we're good. I feel like Iron Greg Feet, Goblin Charbelcher, I really like it. Wow, opponent's going to flip. I really like it as a finisher for this deck. We could finish in other ways. My impulse when I was building a deck was try to do some, like, Chandra stuff or whatever, and try to win, like, slowly, like I did with Modern Mono Red Prison. But this format's just so degenerate and fast that I feel like you really need a fast skill. Opponent. Chalice checking. And I think that Belcher just, like, fits so perfectly. Well, all right, opponent. I think the time has come for you to get a little bit belched. Iron Craig Feet. 7 manas. And Goblin Charbelcher and throw a deck full of goblins at your face. Opponent. Waiting, thinking, and dying. All right, that's how it's supposed to go when we Chalice on one. That's what we're expecting to happen. Not whatever happened in game one. Well, yeah, I mean, unelite, go. 1 land, 2 lands. I like the Abrade. You know what? This hand's actually, I think it's fine. I like that Unholy Heat and Abrade. There's no Chalice, which is scary. Chalice was like many Unholy Heats and Abrade stapled together. It was shutting down so many creatures that our opponent wanted to play. Like an Ocelot Pride, perhaps. Well, at least we have a way to kill it. Season Pyro's actually not the worst. I think we actually have to shock here. We don't want the Ocelot Snowball. Opponent, land, and cracking it. Yeah, we're just gonna kill it. Get rid of the Pride for now. Amped Raptor. All right, probably gonna spin it to win it into a Lightning Bolt. Oh, we were shutting down Lightning Bolts too. Yeah, not having a Chalice is kind of... Ooh, Chrome Mox is nice. Chrome Mox is very nice. What are we getting rid of, though? Oh, that's awkward. Huh. We can't pitch Thundering Eruption because we need the land. We can pitch the Abrade, play Season Pyro, discard, what, 2 One Rings? I think we actually got to keep the removal spell. Let's pitch the Season Pyro. So we have the One Ring. So in theory, the One Ring can be our refuel card. So we can just play it this way, leave up the Abrade. So if our opponent tries to deal too much damage, we can kill it. I think we will take 2, though. Oh, yeah, let's kill it. Hopefully we don't regret this. The Bombardment does turn everything into damage. Also very good with the Johnny. Well, let's draw land for the One Ring. Please, please. Ooh, Ocelot Pride, that's scary. Land for the ring. Stomp, okay. Stomp would have been better if it wasn't for the Bombardment. Although it does still get the Pride off the battlefield, which is good, but we're not gonna get the adventure mode. Yeah, we'll just do it now. It doesn't really matter. I mean, they gotta sack it, right? Yep, sack it, throw it at our face. I mean, I feel like if we can get the rings down, we still got a shot here. We have the Belcher in hand. If we can get the ring to draw some cards, we might be able to get to the Belcher. Well, that's a tap land. All right, well, next turn we can ring. Opponent, if they're just getting Jengatha, that is not a sign of strength. Spin it to win it, spin it to win it. Amped Raptor into a... Ooh, Ragavan. Well, at least it's not dashed. And it won't hit us next turn because of the ring. Strike it, Rich. I mean, if we can hit... All right, Lightning bolts us down to 8. Wait, are you thinking of sacking? No, that's insane. Wow! Wait, what is the... Why? Ragavan's worth more than 1 damage, right? Same with Amped Raptor. Okay, opponent hits us to 6. Before the ring resolves, we draw a Pinnacle Monk. Pass the turn. About it. Untap land. And there's Big Jengatha. Well, ring. Down to 5. And draw with the ring. We're not going to die this turn because we can play another ring. Well, I guess we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think we have it, right? So we strike it rich. Puts us up to 6 mana. 1 ring. Let's see. If they sack the Jengatha in response to this, wow, they love their I have never seen anyone love Goblin Bombardment more. All right, opponent throws their 5/5 at her face for a single point of damage. Well, we're gonna keep the ring. So our opponent might have been trying to play for a Lightning Bolt kill, but if we just don't activate our ring. Guide of Souls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that should do it. Wow. I mean, as much as I hate the energy deck, I do love beating the energy deck, and I think we got him. Chrome Mox, just to rub it in. Exile the Valgate Awakening. And now it's time for a little belching. Goblin Char Belcher. And opponent scoops it up. I still can't believe they threw our creature. We're throwing their creatures at our face so aggressively, but, well... sorry, Arena Zoomer. Maybe next time. We got lands. We got some fast mana. We got a Fury, which... Fury's been fine. Although there's a lot of, like, degenerate combo-y decks where Fury doesn't do anything. So it actually hasn't been... Like, it's definitely worth it in the deck. But it hasn't been that good in our matches, really. It's been, like, medium. Well, all right, here comes Chrome Mox. Opponent also handing out some Zoomer lessons, apparently. Chrome Mox, off an island, exiling. Mana Drain, okay. Well, I'm glad we're not getting Mana Drain. That's a small victory. And, oh, opponent's in for some bad news. Chalice on 1, well, it turns out, opponent, we are also a Chalice deck. Don't speak of the devil. Well, let's get down this Fable the Mirror Breaker. So I think our opponent's trying to play like Blue Moon, maybe. Or maybe it's like a mono blue prison deck. It's always funny when you play Chalice in your deck and your opponent plays it. Same with Blood Moon, these Staxy pieces. You always breathe the sigh of release because you're like, oh, my deck's already built around this. So like Chalice is not on 1 is literally not a problem for us. I think we pitched the Blood Moon because I assume our opponent's playing Blood Moon. We might actually keep the Chalice. I kind of like the idea of putting, well, I kind of like the idea of putting a Chalice on 2. Chalice on 2 and Chalice on 1. Might actually be kind of good because that shuts down all the mana drains and so forth. I feel like our opponent, if you build a Chalice on 1 deck, you probably have a lot of 2s because, yeah, let's just play it tapped. We'll just wait. You probably have a lot of 2s because you don't really want to play a lot of 1s. Next turn we'll run out the Chalice. If they counter it, they counter it, but we don't want to cash in our treasure for it. Opponent gonna shock themselves and, oh, the 1 ring. Okay, well, this is actually gonna be hilarious. So we don't have a 1 ring. Our opponent does have a 1 ring. Oh, another Chrome Mox. Oh, please don't spell Pierce. But we can get down a Chalice on 2, theoretically. Yeah, opponent's also going to pitch Blood Moon, realizing. Yeah, not the matchup for Blood Moon. I mean, our opponent's going to have all the cards, but how many things do they have that they can cast? That they can cast through Chalices on 1 and 2? Thankfully, we have a lot of 3s. All right, Chalice on 1, Chalice on 2. We're just slowly teaming up to lock ourselves out of the ability to play Magic. Me and Hawkeyes over there. Found it. Ring. Draws. How about a Chalice on 3? Actually, no. That would be bad for us. You can Chalice on 0. Get another one down. I'd be fine with that. Actually, I guess they probably assume that we're playing Chrome Mox, so Chalice... 0s, 1s, and 2s locked out of the game. Very nice, opponent. Very nice. Can we find a Chalice for Chalice on 3? Actually, we kind of need 3s. We kind of need 3s. Well, I mean, we can Season Pyro to discard cards that are going to get countered by Chalice anyway. Draw. Ooh, another Season Pyro. Okay. We can always Reflections of Season Pyro to draw some more cards and go wide. Play the tap land and Pestered opponent. 1 ring down to 11. 1 ring. I'm gonna draw some cards. Opponent just can't resolve anything. These Chalice, they are very Chalice locked. Oh, this is the oh no! Oh. All right, I take it back. Our opponent can resolve things. Yeah. Well, there goes our board. I mean, this is still kind of okay. Let's do a little stomping. Oh no, I'm dumb. Oh, all right, just we didn't want that. We wanted to fill our graveyard. Pay no mind. Here's a 1 ring. Think about how busted the 1 ring is, not that Bone Crusher Giant into the Chalice. Yeah, let's play the Tablet Bastard. I mean, everyone plays into their own Chalice sometimes, right? Season Pyro. I mean, I think the thing is, 2 is not a normal number for Chalice. When there's a Chalice, usually you assume 1s are being locked down, sometimes 0s. 2s is pretty rare. Beyond 2s is extremely rare. I think there's only a few times I can remember a Chalice on 3 or more. Opponent, gonna draw with the ring. Plays a land. All right, opponent, show us those 3s. Show us those 4s. Anything that's not a 1 or 2 opponent, or a 0. The Chalice on 0 does keep us from playing Chrome Moxes, which is annoying. No. Yep, you did literally the same exact thing I did. The same, even an adventure card. Yeah, oops. Don't feel, I can't make too much fun because I literally the turn before did that with Bone Crusher. Opponent, more 1 rings. Opponent want to get rid of the Chalice, which makes sense, but opponent's protected again. We draw Blood Moon, which this is not a Blood Moon matchup. Sideboarding is going to be interesting. I'll draw with the ring. I mean, I guess we just play a Fury and try to beat him down. I'm not sure Not sure what else we're doing with our lives. Yeah, I mean, get down the Fury and... Let's play Sundering Eruption. I feel like Sundering Eruption, I've never actually cast it. I'm sure there'd be a world where we'll use it to blow up a land, but it has not come up much. Found it, gonna draw with the One Ring. And down to 7. I mean, we're presenting lethal. Opponent needs something. Draws with the Ring, probably looking for another ring. If they're just Chalice locked out or doing anything relevant, even a ring, like, it buys them a turn. But a ring doesn't win them the game. All right, brothers at end to sweep the board. Watch our opponent just die to the ring. That would be the funniest if they just can't literally beat their own One Ring because of the chalices. All right, there it is, ring number 3. I mean, opponent is running out. They are running out of rings. Are they done? Maybe they're done tapping it. Maybe they can't afford to take the damage now. Opponent discards, Chrome Mox. Well, we will run ring down to 8. Oh, there it is. We can Chalice on 3 and lock ourselves out of the game. Although I guess we could still eventually win with a Belcher. Well, let's draw with the ring. All right, well, that makes the choice a little bit easier. Sure. Hello. Hello, friend. Do we have some goblins to belch at you? And opponent scoops it up. I was trying to think if there was a reason to wait till their upkeep, like some sort of weird stifle effect, but with the chalices, it was probably pretty safe. Well, we gotta go down the Blood Moons, go up the Disrupting Flutes, go up the Defense Grids. Rolling Vortex probably not worth it. It hits Chrome Moxes, but it hits our Chrome Moxes too. We might need the Abrades to deal with Pithing Needles. Unlicensed, I could say, like, when I played Blue Moon, I had Snapcasters. They could have Delve spells. Do we go down the Chalices? Chalices were good that game, but normally if our opponent's playing Chalice, we don't really want Chalices because they're also built around it. I think last game was just, like, the exception. It happened to be the time when Chalice was still good in a matchup where it shouldn't really be that good. Maybe we go, like... maybe we don't go the Strike at Riches. Up against, we're in the Blood Moon Mirror right now, although I wonder if our opponent also sideboarded out all their stacks pieces. I mean, turn 1, Chrome Mox, Strike at Red, Shatter Skull Smashing. Turn 2, Fable. Seems reasonable, and a Season Pyro. Well, let's play the land. Strike at Ridge. And Chrome Mox. And exile, I think, the Season Pyro, since we have the 2 Fables. I guess, could have not taken the 3 there. Oops. We didn't want that life anyway. We gotta keep it. We gotta keep it fair. Gotta give the Zoomers a chance, especially with us blood mooning them. We gotta make them feel like they're in the game at least. Well, Shatter Skull Smashing. Ouch. We do probably take like 6 to 9 life a game from our own deck. It's pretty common to take at least 6. Oh. All right. Well, hopefully this isn't too bad. Mana Drain on the Fable the Mirror Breaker. And Island. And all right, opponent managed to take advantage. All right, not feeling great about where we're at now. About it. Oh, there's another Melcher. I'll play the Fable. Are we done countering our stuff yet? All right, Fable resolves. Our opponent still might have a counter though. It definitely didn't just Raisin Borrower. That also makes sense. Well, down to 19. We're doing it. Only 8 more turns of the ring or something, and our opponent might die. I'm pretty sure I can count on one hand the number of times someone has legitimately died to the ring. There's definitely games where people like take a bunch of damage off the ring, and that contributes to them like dying eventually. But as far as like legitimately like, oh no, I just straight up lost to my ring, I feel like that does not happen that often. Wow, aggro bounces our Chrome Mox. That actually is going to work out kind of good for our opponent because we are short on red cards. Are we going to submit 0? I want a red card, but I also, we're going to pitch 1. The reason to keep another Belcher is purely just, they might be out of counters now, is purely just in case the first one gets countered. I'll play the land and our turn with the ring in. And let's start drawing cards. I mean, we are pretty far behind. Opponent's got the bigger ring. We're at 11, they're at 14. They got more cards, many more cards. Yeah, I think our opponent also took out their Chalices and Blood Moons, looks like. And the One Ring. I mean, this is going to help us catch back up in cards at least. I don't know if our opponent can realistically kill us very quickly. Unlicensed Hearse. Well, all right. Flip the Fable. Draw with the One Ring. More Moxen. They played 2 Brazen Borrowers. Do we just run this out where they're tapped down? Yeah, I think we do. Let's just run out the Belcher and be like, can you answer it? If we had one more, if this Unlicensed Hearse was a red card, we could actually just win with the Chrome Mox mana, but 1 mana short. Gonna draw with the ring. I mean, now our opponent knows they must kill the Belcher or they die. There's no other way around it. Like, they do get to draw a ton of cards, so they should be able to find an answer, right? Chrome Mox. Or just kill us. If they can just kill us, but I don't know. That's the downside of Blue Moon. That's one thing I love about this deck, is I love my Blood Moon Prison decks. Normally, the challenge is you need to Blood Moon and find a way to close out the game fast enough. The Belcher plan just takes away that last bar, because you always have a plan to close out the game quickly. Null Drifter. Hardcast Null Drifter. Okay. That doesn't stop a Belcher, though. Chrome Mox. Wait, was this desperation? No, if you're desperate, you would just... all right. There's the Pithing Needle. So opponent did have a plan. Well, now we might get annihilated. That would be awkward. Yeah, Pithing Needle, that's why we have the Abrades in the sideboard and one in the main. Pithing Needle is a very good answer to Belcher. And it shuts down the One Ring, which our opponent, they got to name Belcher here, but it is very good against us. Oh, Iron Crag Feet. Well, let's draw with the ring. So we can Fury the Null Drifter. We have this Reflection, which can copy the Fury and get in for 6. Disruptor Flute on the One Ring would be kind of nice. But then it also shuts down our ring. I mean, we got to kill the Null Drifter. I think maybe we just Iron Crag Feet. Yeah, let's Iron Crag Feet. Make 7 mana. Play the Fury. Kill the Null Drifter. We have more cards than we know what to do with anyway. Plus we got the Season Pyro that's going to be discarding stuff at some point. So Null Drifter down, and then we can copy the Fury. Hit ya. Down to 7. Plus there's a ring going. We are in piece it together mode. The backup plan is achieved. Attack with the Furies. Opponent 1 ring. Down to 5. I mean, we are also kind of dying to our rings. Opponent gonna draw with the ring. And Island. And... well, I guess we sack... oh... actually, okay. Unnecessary. They're blowing up creatures. For some reason, I thought they were hitting artifacts. But yeah, that would just kill them because it blew up the Pithing Needle. We can play this Disruptor Flute. I guess we could name like the Brazen Borrowers. I think we're just going to wait though. Let's untap. Found it. Discarding hand size. 1 ring. Down to 5. They can flash in those Brazen Borrowers, so we're dead next turn. We really need to win this turn somehow. So how do we win? Because they can flash in 2 Brazen Borrowers and we just die. So our opponent's going to take 3 from the ring. Is there a world? Wait, is there a world? Is there a world where we get an MDFC win? So we can Spikefield Hazard you for 1 mana. Pinnacle Monk for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get back the Spikefield Hazard. Hit you for 1, then you die to the ring. This depends on our opponent not having a counter. But what else are we gonna do? We're dead. We're dead next turn. Like, what else can we realistically do? This would be MDFC power. These cards are in our deck to be lands, not cast. I have not cast a Pinnacle Monk or a Spikefield Hazard, I don't think, through all of our games. Like, yeah, sure, it happens on occasion, but Pinnacle Monk, wow, do they not have a counter? Is this happening? Is this the MDFC win? No. No way this works. No way. So my impulse is to wait till our opponent's upkeep. But it seems like they don't have a counter because of how this is going. Oh, do we just do it now? I think the upkeep is like technically correct, but the coast feels clear. Spikefield Hazard? Do you really not have it? Is it happening? Is it? MDFCs! MDFCs! Opponent Brazen Borrower showing us how they had lethal on us, and they did indeed, but they have a 1 ring. MDFCs Exacxies. Well, as much as I love blood mooning people, that was my favorite win with this deck. MDFCs. Teaching arena zoomers. Sweet. So what do we learn this week about Mono Red Prison in Timeless? And overall, the deck's kind of been crushing it. So we're 13-5 with the deck overall. Good for a very nice 69% win percentage. But really, even outside of the record, the deck just feels really powerful. So Chrome Mox is just a busted card. It is one of the strongest cards in Timeless. It's that good, and it works so well in this deck. It's like single-handedly making Mono Red Prison a thing. So as far as our deck, our two big lock pieces, of course, Chalice of the Void, Blood Moon, and we saw each of them be really, really good. I think actually right now, Chalice of the Void might even be the better of the two. I think we got more free wins with Chalice of the Void than Blood Moon. Blood Moon, it is still incredibly good in the matchups where it's good, but then in other matchups, we kind of sideboarded out. One of the downsides of Chrome Mox being a thing on Arena now is our opponents can also be playing it. So we ran into that one deck that was like this weird storm deck that had like Strike at Riches and Chrome Moxes, and Blood Moon just doesn't really do anything. Or if you run into like a red-based deck, it's not that good. So it can be a little bit hit or miss, but overall the deck has absolutely been killing it. And then the Belcher finish is insane. Like, it's so perfect for this deck. And I mentioned this back in the intro, but back when we played a ton of Mono Red Prison in Modern, the problem was always closing out the game. When we use like a Chandra or something, and you try to lock your opponent and then like ultimate the Chandra and win after like 5 or 6 turns. And it works if your Blood Moon and your Chalice of the Void actually hold up long enough. But in 2025, there's so many Besejus and so many answers that it's not always that realistic for your lock pieces to just stick forever. I think having the Belcher kill just solves that entire problem. Now we don't need our lock pieces to stick around for 10 turns to win the game. We can stick them for 2, 3, 4 turns and just Belcher kill you. And it always gives us this like get out of jail from whatever horrible situation free card where our opponent's like about to win, we're doing nothing. We always have the possibility that we just Goblin Char Belcher, hit you for 40 damage, win the game on the spot. So it's like the perfect finisher for the deck. The all MDFC mana base actually, it works really well with Belcher. It also works really well with Chrome Mox. But by far my favorite part of this deck is we actually got the MDFC kill, the game that we were going to lose, but we were able to Spike Field Hazard, get it back with Pinnacle Monk, Spike Field Hazard again, with the mana from Chrome Mox making it possible to kill our opponent was so incredibly good. So even though they're mostly lands, you do sometimes get some extra value out of the MDFCs, but that is Mono Red Prison. That is teaching arena zoomers about Chrome Moxes and Blood Moons. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.